Good morning, everyone. My name is Ambassador Eleni Kounalakis, Lieutenant Governor of California. Welcome to today's signing ceremony of a new Memorandum of Understanding on the establishment of a framework for strategic cooperation between Denmark and the state of California. On behalf of Governor Gavin Newsom, whom we will hear from in just a few moments, I'd like to welcome the Foreign Minister and the former Prime Minister of Denmark, His Excellency Lars Løkke Rasmussen, and His Excellency Ambassador to the United States, Jesper Sorensen. We are honored by your presence and the presence of your entire delegation. I'd also like to welcome Consul General Jacob Wind, who has just arrived this month to take up his post at the Danish Consulate General in Silicon Valley. Welcome. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize the members of the governor's delegation. We are accompanied here this morning by First Partner of the State of California, Jennifer Newsom. Secretary Wade Crowfoot of the California Natural Resources Agency. Secretary Karen Ross of the California Department of Food and Agriculture. Senior Advisor for Climate, Lauren Sanchez. And Senior Advisor for Technology, Randy Mitchell. The agreement which will be signed here today between California and Denmark reinforces our joint commitment to address the challenges posed by rapidly advancing technology and by climate change. This MOU will establish a flexible framework to support strategic cooperation on environmental resilience and the green economy, digital safety, cyber development, and innovative ecosystems. For many years, Denmark and California have worked together on these issues and more. Both of us have seen the rapid development of groundbreaking technologies, including artificial intelligence, and at the same time recognize the need for a safe, secure, and trustworthy digital future. We also share a deep respect for international collaboration to address societal challenges and advance global prosperity. As I hand the podium to Foreign Minister Rasmussen, I'd like to recognize that the Foreign Minister has twice served as Denmark's Prime Minister and is widely respected for advancing Denmark's tradition of promoting human rights, democratic principles, international law, peace, sustainability, multilateral engagement, all these transatlantic values that California shares. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Governor Newsom, First Partner, Lieutenant Governor, Secretaries, ladies and gentlemen, friends. I'm delighted to be here today, and I want to take the opportunity to thank Salesforce for hosting us in this beautiful building with the most beautiful view overlooking San Francisco and the Bay Area. People promised me that when you sign the MOU in a few minutes, then everything will clear up. It should be around 11 o'clock. No, it's a real pleasure being here. And most of all, it has been a pleasure meeting you, Governor. I think we had a very nice and frank talk discussing how we can strengthen the partnership between California and Denmark and some related issues as well. I hope this will just be the first of many meetings between you and I and between our staff. We have a strong engagement across the United States. and have agreed to step up our partnership even further with several states over the past years. And now we are doing so in California, and I guess until now this is the most comprehensive kind of agreement we have made so far with any American state. And we are extremely happy to do so. Because if we combine our efforts, we can achieve a great deal for our economies and societies, for our businesses and innovators. And that is why I'm so thrilled that we are here today to strengthen our cooperation. We have had cooperation for many years. I think next year we will celebrate the 20th anniversary of our Innovation Center in California. Everybody are hereby invited to take part in the celebration a year from now. And one reason why we have this strong cooperation and now are going to strengthen it is the fact that California and Denmark are leaders in green energy, in sustainability and innovation. You excel in the tech industry. We know, I would argue, a thing or two about design, innovation, energy efficiency, and I would add quality of life. Together, these strengths can achieve even more, and that is also why I'm glad to bring such a large group of Danish companies with me. They are ready to step up the commercial ties between industries in California and Denmark, and our new agreement lays the foundation for stronger trade. It lays also the foundation for new public-private partnerships, more research, exchange and sharing of best practices, and a prime example of what we are striving for is the Stanford groundwater architecture project. We discussed that in the lead up to the meeting, where researchers, companies and policymakers from Denmark and California work together to develop new ways of mapping groundwater reservoirs in California. With this agreement in hand, we have a powerful engine to drive that kind of cooperation forward. And this really matters, because in today's world, leaders must reduce risk and uncertainty. Cooperation on sustainability and trade is a key part of exactly that effort. California is an economic powerhouse. If California was a country, it would be the fourth largest economy in the world. That is truly remarkable, but there is still room to grow, including through trade with Denmark and including with cross-country investments in Denmark and in California. And we are ready to step up, and that is exactly why we are here this morning in San Francisco. So thank you once again for welcoming me and my delegation, and thank you, Mr. Governor, for committing to an even closer cooperation with Denmark. Thank you.
Right here. Thank you, Mr. Minister. And now, as I hand the podium to Governor Newsom, I'd like to recognize his leadership in boldly tackling the climate crisis, investing in clean energy, expanding healthcare access, protecting civil rights, and navigating some of the most complex challenges of our time. Governor Newsom is leading California with resilience, determination, and a deep belief in the power of inclusive progress. Under his leadership, California has not only strengthened its position as the world's fourth largest economy, but he has defined our state as America's lighthouse of transatlantic values. Governor.
Thank you, Madam Governor. Well, thank you, everybody. Welcome, and I'm grateful to see not just those who are recognized, so many other members of my administration, more than normal. So this is a testament to you and this partnership, Mr. Minister, and thank you for the privilege of the opportunity to advance this memorandum of understanding. And we're doing so with a deep understanding of the world we're living in and the time that defines this moment and how precious in many respects this moment is. We're also here, and if I could just for a moment, make the case for my hometown, San Francisco. a city that was best described once as 47 square miles surrounded by reality. It's a city not dissimilar to our state, and we have the First Lady here, Becca Prada, a city of dreamers, a city of doers, entrepreneurs, innovators, and a city like our state that prides itself on being on the leading and cutting edge of new ideas. San Francisco, like the state of California, is the most diverse city in the most diverse state in the world's most diverse democracy. I say that because it needs to be said. And at our best, we live together, we advance together, and prosper together across every conceivable and imaginable difference. And I think it's a point that needs to be emphasized over and over and over again. At our best, we don't tolerate that diversity, we celebrate it. It's a universal state, California, majority, minority state. And so our state of mind is around pluralism. And our state of mind is about reconciling all our interesting differences, but uniting around the things that bind us together. And so I think about, Madam Lieutenant Governor, your introduction of the minister and those universal transatlantic values. I think in terms of values at this moment and how valuable they are as lens to which we can see the world, not through the situational prism. It's not about transactions. It's about sustainable values over time, enduring, dare I say, values. Those enduring values that I'm very proud of as an American, that we've enjoyed for 249 years, the best of the Roman Republic, Greek democracy, co-equal branches of government, popular sovereignty, the rule of law. Forgive me, I feel compelled to emphasize those principles and those points as we enjoyed 249 years of the best of those values. So I'm here mindful of this moment and here recognize our responsibility to meet it as a stable partner, regardless of the prevailing winds of leadership. California has been able for decades and decades to pass the baton, particularly, and I'll close on what we're also emphasizing this memorandum of understanding, low carbon green growth, changing the way we produce and consume energy. I was mentioning the minister and the ambassador and others a moment ago. This morning in my inbox was an interesting fact. For me, it was even more than interesting. It was shared by David Hochfeld and by Lauren. They said, did you know there's been 212 days so far this year? I said, no. Why is that important? They said, well, 198 of them, 93% of the days so far this calendar year, the fourth largest economy in the world has run on 100% green energy, clean energy, which is remarkable. This, we're not asserting this principle anymore. We're proving it. And I make that point to reinforce the point that was made by Lieutenant Governor and the minister, that we have a lot to learn in order to ultimately achieve our goals. And so many of those are laid out in detail in this memorandum of understanding as it relates to regenerative ag, relates to circular economy, as it relates to sustainable practices, and what Wade was referring to on Sigma, the minister referenced as it relates to groundwater issues, all of those precious, all of those profound and pronounced in terms of our politics and policy making here in the state of California. So look, we're all better off and we're all better off. We're all in this together with humility and grace. We look forward to signing this memorandum of understanding, and we look forward to strengthening the ties that have defined our proud past, but here is to an even better future. Thank you all very, very much.
Thank you, Governor. And now I would like to call His Excellency, the Danish Ambassador, for the signing.
Negotiating at the last minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here, and that concludes our signing ceremony. Again, oh, question and answer. Thank you. We have time for question and answer. Governor, Mr. Minister. Question and answers.
Yes, thank you. Lotte Mejlhed, TV2 Denmark. For you, Mr. Governor, you are saying in a statement, actually, by signing this statement,
yes,
that you want to show the world that California is a stable, reliable partner, no matter who is in the White House. Yeah. In which way do you want to show the Danish people that you are different from Trump? A Trump that has actually said that he would like to take over part of the Danish kingdom, Greenland. So how would you, by signing this agreement, show the Danish people that you want a different way?
Well, I can only establish the California way, representing, a state with more scientists, engineers, more researchers, more Nobel laureates. I would argue one of the finest systems of public higher education anywhere in the world. A state, as I said, that practices pluralism. State that has all kinds of struggles, all kinds of challenges. We recognize that. But a state of mind is about an open hand, not a closed fist. It's about expressing respect and appreciation. We all share the same short moment in life, and there's grace in that. And so our approach is a little different from that perspective. I think it's because of our values that we continue to excel. There's not an economy in the United States of America that has any industry larger than the state of California. Forestry, jobs, even hunting, agriculture. In every key industry, the minister and I had the privilege of talking about Salesforce. When I was mayor, proving how long ago it was, the cloud was still in the sky. Apps were things you filled out to get into college. Facebook didn't even exist. LinkedIn was a prison. 5G was a parking space. You get the point. World is changing, and so our mindset is around inclusivity. Our mindset is around encouraging people from all over the world to feel like they belong. They're seen. They're heard. It's an economic strategy, and I feel like all those values are challenged at the moment. And so we just want folks to know we're many parts of the United States of America, but one body. I say this, red states, blue states, when one part suffers, we all suffer. And so we're all in this together, and I want to make that case to you, your country, to the businesses that are here, that you matter and we care. And to the extent that distinguishes our approach to the current administration, so be it.
Thank you. And guess what? Also in Denmark, people are looking very closely about what is happening here politically. And they are always asking me, who is actually, lead of the resistance against Trump in the United States? So I have to ask you the question: will you be the lead Democrat candidate to run against Trump and his supporters?
I don't know if you've been watching my Twitter feed. Doing what I can. Thank you.
Hi, Governor. Thanks for having us. Monica Madden, ABC 7 News. A lot of alluding to the commander-in-chief. Obviously, one way you're trying to rein in some of his power is through the redistricting ballot measure. Question for you, though. We're seeing a lot of Republican resistance from that already, including former Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, Congressman Kiley with his bill in Congress. Have you spoken to the former governor as he tries to become the gerrymandering terminator? And have you made contact with President Trump? Is there a possibility that we could get a national ceasefire on all of the gerrymandering efforts?
Well, the last time I talked to Donald Trump, he he federalized the National Guard. So I haven't had that opportunity. Militarized the streets of a great American city in Los Angeles. We said at the time it was a preview of things to come. What more evidence do you need than what's happening in Washington, D.C.? As it relates to the former governor, who's a friend and a colleague of sorts, I met with him for an hour and a half last week, went down and visited him at his home. We had a fantastic conversation. And we share many of the same values. We certainly share many of the same concerns about the current occupant in the White House. Very proud of the legislature for moving quickly. We have now a special election on November 4th. We're looking forward to the voters doing something the voters have never been tasked to do in any time in U.S. history, in the most transparent and democratic way, making a determination for themselves what maps are appropriate in redistricting. That is in stark contrast to what happened in Texas, where those maps were drawn at Mar-a-Lago. And so our approach is very different. It's temporary, it's transparent, and it's democratic.
So it was agree to disagree with Governor Schwarzenegger?
We had more areas of agreement than disagreement.
Thank you.
Governor Lauren Thomas of CBS News Bay Area, thank you for your time. Also on redistricting, recent polling has shown that a majority of voters in the state are not in support of this ballot measure, including one out this morning by our neighbors over at UC Berkeley. We're also starting to see a lot of spending on opposition mailers on this. I myself received one in the mail just yesterday. So what is your confidence level that this ballot measure is going to get across the finish line, and what kind of support do you think it really needs to accomplish that?
Well, we've had overwhelming support, including former President Barack Obama. It's united the Democratic Party. Independents, I think, broadly recognize what's at stake. And so we put a stake in the ground. We're giving the people the opportunity to decide. I have all the confidence in the world that we're going to succeed. The more people are made aware of what this is, the more likely they are to support it. As it relates to the opposition, it was just predictable. It was very predictable. You have Trump-aligned, Trump-backed forces that are going to spend upwards of $100 million to defeat this initiative. They want to rig the election. Donald Trump knows he will lose the midterms. He knows he'll lose next November. Why else do you call a governor of a red state and say you're, quote unquote, entitled to 5 seats? He did his bidding. He's not just trying to rig things in Texas. He's doing it in Indiana. He's doing it in Missouri. And he'll do it in Florida. We responded to what occurred. And I think the people of this state recognize what's at stake. And we're giving them that opportunity in a transparent way. And I believe we'll be successful this November. Mr. Minister, I have a question for you. No, I just once again thank everybody for being here, and thank you for the spirit that brings you here as well. And Mr. Minister, I look forward to, I did get an invitation, and I think I'm the only one in this room that hasn't had the privilege of being in Denmark, and I'm going to take advantage of your cell phone and make sure I see you when I arrive. And I'm told August, is it not? Best month. Don't go in November. August it is. Yeah, I need to be here for the election in November. Thank you very much.
August is a good month.